Hey, it's Jamie East here from the Smart 7, and today's episode is brought to you by Pension Bee and their award-winning Pension Confident podcast. Getting your head around pensions might seem overwhelming, but that's where Pension Bee comes in. They're on a mission to build pension confidence. So whether you're just starting on your pension journey, you're nearing retirement, or like me, you're somewhere a little bit in between, then you should have a listen to the Pension Confident podcast. It's an award-winning podcast that digs into topics that really matter with the help of financial experts. So that could be the basics of how pensions, ISAs or mortgages work, and things like how to get started on saving for a happy retirement. And a bit like the Smart 7 does with the news, they break down complex pensions finance into language that we can all understand. You can listen or download the Pension Confident podcast wherever you get your podcast from, or you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And remember, anything discussed on the podcast shouldn't be regarded as financial or legal advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk. On today's Smart 7, Labour starts search for new deputy leader, French government on brink of collapse, and much more. It's Tuesday, 9th of September, it's Teddy Bear Day, and happy birthday, Hugh Grant.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Monday saw Labour announce the timeline for the election of the party's new deputy leader following the resignation of Angela Rayner. Candidates will only have until Thursday afternoon to gather support from at least 80 Labour MPs to qualify for the second stage of the process. A number of high-profile candidates withdrew from the race on Monday, including Jess Phillips, Lisa Nandy and new Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood. That leaves Emily Thornberry and Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson as likely frontrunners. Mahmood says she is focused on her new job and the ongoing struggle with migration.
I have one top priority, and that is to secure our borders. There is interesting space for collaboration. We've been talking about how we can take much more coordinated action, including the cutting of visas. This is a Labour government with Labour policy and Labour proposals.
Meanwhile, former Cabinet Secretary Lord O'Donnell told the BBC that the priority needs to be the big picture and generating growth in the economy.
We need to have number 10 and number 11 working together, which results in policies which make economic sense and which are politically doable. We need to have an agenda which has growth that makes people's lives better in ways they realise.
The UN Human Rights Council met in Geneva on Monday, where Volker Turk, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, condemned Israel for their treatment of Palestinians. He stopped short of describing the situation as genocide, but warned that Israel will have a case to answer before the International Court of Justice.
Israel's mass killing of Palestinian civilians in Gaza, its infliction of indescribable suffering, its killing of journalists, UN staff and NGO workers, and its commission of war crime upon war crime are shocking the conscience of the world. I am horrified by the open use of genocidal rhetoric and the disgraceful dehumanization of Palestinians.
In Jerusalem, 2 Palestinian gunmen opened fire on a crowd at a bus stop, killing 6 people and injuring at least 7 more. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu visited the scene and had strong words of warning for Palestinians living in Gaza City, urging them to leave now as Israeli ground forces prepared for the much-discussed invasion. He says the mission is to wipe out Hamas.
We are at war against terrorism on several fronts. I would like to express my condolences to the families of those murdered. But the war goes on, both in the Gaza Strip, where we will destroy Hamas as we have promised.
If you like political turmoil and dramatic resignations, this might be the week for you. France's Prime Minister François Bayrou lost a crucial confidence motion on Monday in a vote over an austerity budget and has had to resign. If that sounds familiar, it's not just déjà vu. This is the 5th time that President Emmanuel Macron will have to appoint a new Prime Minister since 2022. Matters are complicated because no one party holds an absolute majority in Parliament, and things have been deadlocked, with President Macron hoping to find a new PM who can push through the 2026 austerity budget. Wednesday will see a day of national protests, followed by strikes, and French National Assembly Deputy Mathilde Panot was calling for the president to also step down.
The question asked to the country today is whether Mr. Macron should leave. I want to tell you all that we share their relief to see Mr. Bayrou leaving.
The inquiry into the Southport murders resumed on Monday in Liverpool Town Hall. Among the witnesses testifying was Jonathan Hayes, a businessman whose office was in the same building as the dance studio where the attack took place. He was stabbed by Axel Rusakubana when he tried to intervene in the attack and grappled with him. Hayes said he was going to die, but bystanders saved his life with rapid first aid. Chris Walker is the lawyer for the families of the 3 little girls who were murdered at the dance class, and he says that it's not just a case of finding out what happened that day, but what went wrong to allow it to happen.
The families want individual accountability, but there must be a systemic analysis. How can individual errors lead to this terrible tragedy if the system is designed to prevent that?
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro, Man City settled with the Premier League, and Lady Gaga has some words of wisdom. Right after this. Hey, it's Jamie East here from the Smart 7, and today's episode's brought to you by Pension Bee and their award-winning Pension Confident podcast. Getting your head around pensions might seem overwhelming, but that's where Pension Bee comes in. They're on a mission to build pension confidence. So whether you're just starting on your pension journey, you're nearing retirement, or like me, you're somewhere a little bit in between, then you should have a listen to the Pension Confident podcast. It's an award-winning podcast that digs into topics that really matter with the help of financial experts. So that could be the basics of how pensions, ISAs or mortgages work, and things like how to get started on saving for a happy retirement. And a bit like the Smart 7 does with the news, they break down complex pensions finance into language that we can all understand. You can listen or download the Pension Confident podcast wherever you get your podcast from, or you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And remember, anything discussed on the podcast shouldn't be regarded as financial or legal advice, and when investing, your capital is at risk. Welcome back. This week sees World Cup qualifying action, with Scotland in Belarus on Monday evening picking up a 2-0 win. There's more action on Tuesday as England travel to face Serbia, while the Republic of Ireland are in Armenia. Back in Premier League land, Man City finally reached a settlement with the league over sponsorship rules, which had prevented the club's owners also acting as sponsors. The settlement was undisclosed, but there remain 130 charges outstanding against City. Spurs have been in the spotlight after longtime chairman Daniel Levy announced he was stepping down, but the club insists they're not for sale. Football finance expert Kieran Maguire says it mightn't be for sale, but it's a valuable asset.
Every club is available for sale if the price is right. Assuming Spurs make reasonable progress in the Champions League, that values them at somewhere between £3 and £4.5 billion. And that's a phenomenal achievement.
The early hours of Monday morning saw this year's MTV Video Music Awards. The event took place in Long Island, which is somewhat unusual, and the big winners with 2 awards each were Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter and Lady Gaga. The show also featured awards for some old-timers, with Ricky Martin picking up the Latin Icon Award, while Busta Rhymes won a Visionary Award, and Mariah Carey won a Lifetime Achievement Video Vanguard Award. Gaga had to dash off before the end of the ceremony because she was performing at Madison Square Gardens, but she had words of inspiration before she hopped in the Uber.
Being an artist is a discipline for reaching into someone's heart and reminding them to dream. The responsibility to make the audience smile.
There's going to be no escaping the new Knives Out mystery, which got its official premiere at the Toronto Film Festival last weekend. It's called Wake Up Dead Man, and it's due to hit cinemas on November 26th and then drop on Netflix on December 12th. It's the third outing for Daniel Craig and writer-director Rian Johnson, and it's already chalking up rave reviews from critics. The cast is truly stellar, with Glenn Close, Andrew Scott, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Josh Brolin, Josh O'Connor and many more. The only question is who done it?
This murder was dressed as a miracle. To understand this case, you need to look at the myth that's being constructed. It is time to discover what this flock of wicked wolves is hiding.
You've been listening to the Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, and we'll give you the world.
And now, a next-level moment from AT&T Business. Say you've sent out a gigantic shipment of pillows, and they need to be there in time for International Sleep Day. You've got AT&T 5G, so you're fully confident. But the vendor isn't responding, and International Sleep Day is tomorrow. Luckily, AT&T 5G lets you deal with any issues with ease, so the pillows will get delivered and everyone can sleep soundly, especially you. AT&T 5G requires a compatible plan and device. Coverage not available everywhere. Learn more at att.com/5G network.